Okay, this is the Friday, April 18th, 2025 meeting of the Finance Committee of the Albany Park. Calling the meeting to order. Present, Ken Burke, himself.
Jordan Jones.
Yeah, Jordan was shown. And Jen Sapone. At the moment there. Has everybody had a chance to read the minutes of the January 17th, 2025 meeting?
Yes.
Yes. Are there any questions? Hearing none, do I have a motion to accept the minutes?
So,
Second,
Second.
all in favor, aye.
aye.
They are adopted. And now we will go over the review of the financials. Turn that over to our executive director.
Thank you, sir. Our goals and objectives, continue focus on training and professional growth, focus on increasing garage occupancy, pursue grant opportunities. Capital improvements and community projects, heated sidewalks, annual repairs and renovations, and all of the projects. Moving on to our March overview, our revenue for March is $691,556, with our expenses being $588,086, with a net income for the month at $103,471. Our available cash is 1.2 mil. Moving on to the history of our income history.
Our available income?
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's pretty consistent. Revenues were consistent compared to March of 2024. Expenses were a little bit higher due to us tracking our depreciation, our assets, and enforcement operating costs being higher this year. Our depreciation on the assets is something that the auditor is requiring us to do, so we're following that direction.
They give you a particular list, or they just want you to prepare?
I believe it's just, I don't know how the calculation works for depreciation, but it's just on our, with all of our assets that are above $5,000 that we have to depreciate.
Yes, we follow Gatsby's guidance, which is $5,000 with a useful lifespan of more than 1 year. And we use the straight line method.
Okay, I just was wondering if they were after the particular fleet or older equipment, some bigger things, or just they want you to put it in a standard practice.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
Okay.
It helps with us when we want to do mid-years checks to make sure that we're not having errors proposed at the end of the year. It's a lot harder to check it because we're just doing the entry and like moving on. So if we do it, we can do a June check and an August check and whatnot.
Our parking revenues increased from February to March and are higher than projections. Our daily increased by $50,000. Our monthly decreased by $12,000, and our event revenue increased by $20,000, leading to about a $58,000 increase in parking revenues for this month. We had a fantastic March with the exception.
And the monthly is probably the continuing trend of, because of the work schedules they're doing daily.
Yeah, and we've had that big cancellation with New York State entity. The name of it escapes my mind. I can't remember who they were.
New York State Development.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't think it was economic.
No.
I'll look that up. Kevin knows exactly what it is.
They moved somewhere else.
Yes. Yeah.
I think they moved out by the airport.
Yeah.
We're starting to see that more often.
What's that?
Businesses moving out of
Okay,
yeah.
sure. That's trend, right?
Yeah.
But the state moving out by the airport, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna see the county move out to St. Rose,
Well, it's
turn those properties over. So,
New York Business Development Group.
thank you. Yeah.
New York Business Development Group. Yeah.
Okay,
Our expenses, we're below projections once, we take out our expenses, excluding enforcement, so, we're well below our projections based on. Meter revenues, we exceeded our projections in meter revenues. We had our best March that we've ever had. So that's exciting, we did have an incredible, legislative session was a major part of that. We did have some events this month, but that was a major contributor. It must have been really busy. So lots of stage activity. Any questions?
also, we expanded meters, continually expanded.
Well,
Well,
I think a lot of it is, we're moving more towards, a goal of credit card only. So, a lot of app only type areas. So I think a lot of people, once they get on the app, it's not like you're plugging quarters into a machine. You're just doing it on your phone. So people tend to just use more time than what they really need. And
Sure, I do.
I think, and then I think in legislative session, they never know when they're.
Yeah, one lapse, or someone leaving and someone coming in.
Yeah,
So
that
it
too.
adds to the revenue, which is good.
Yeah.
And then our meter daily average, this doesn't include our bagging orders, so the daily average is actually higher once we include our bagging orders, but this just shows you actual parking, what our daily average is for parking, and we're right on par with where we'd like to be, which is pre-pandemic numbers.
Mhm.
And then our monthly and other revenue, monthly decreased by 11 grand. In February, we lost 52 passes. That was our New York State.
New York Business
New
Development
York
Group.
Business Development Group. And this caused, that's why our March revenue had decreased. We have an increase of 14 passes in the month of March. That'll be reflected in April's presentation. But even though we are losing some, we are gaining as well. Not as many as we'd like, but. And our daily and garage and lot revenue continues to exceed projections. We did have a little more activity in our events this month, so that not a whole lot, but definitely more in a positive than the beginning of the year. And that trend is going to probably continue as we're starting to see more events happening throughout the year. On our revenue summary. Meter revenue, we're right on par with what we had forecasted, along with our monthly and other revenue. Our daily garage and lot revenue exceeded projections by 28%, along with our event revenue exceeded by 16%, with an overall of 4% over our projections.
Did we adjust our projections on daily garage and lot revenue based on going for the rest of the year?
Not for the fiscal 24 budget. What we did is we did a budget over budget increase. And last year we exceeded budget projections, but we did a budget over budget increase opposed to an actual base for conservative purposes. So we didn't right size daily garage, but we did right size monthly down based on actuals, if that makes sense. So we did it an assumption of, I believe, 2% increase of daily budget to budget, but not based on actuals. And monthly, we right-sized it down because we knew we were losing. We were under a budget all of last year.
Right.
So like for fiscal 25, the reason why we did that is because we have that balloon payment, and to ensure that our revenues that we're going to make the 1.5 with our ballooned debt service payment, we went really conservative on like the daily and event revenue, and even the meter projections.
These are,
Very high.
yeah.
We'll right size it in the
It says we didn't
2026.
do a good job projecting.
Yes. We'll right size it in the 2026 budget because our bonds won't be so impactful to the debt ratio because we'll be losing them. But we were more concerned with making sure that our 1.5 was met.
And I'm happy with that, and that makes perfect sense. I'm just,
Yeah.
for the record, pointing that out, that there was a reason that we did this.
Yes.
Will this most likely stay on track for the rest of the year, or will it right size like other things?
That will probably stay on track.
Okay.
Assuming that the economic activity down here. We would love to see them convert back to monthly customers, but we don't know that. That's
Yeah,
gonna
we just
happen.
really haven't been, it's very slow, so we don't know if that's gonna plateau or not.
How much is this, how much of this is the lot versus stable? The lot's not much.
The lot is
No,
not much, the lot's more around, like, I wanna say like 15-20 thousand of this, I believe. Give or take.
Total or just for March?
For Mark, it would consistently, the lots are usually around the 15-20 thousand mark. Our debt service investment account activity, we are, well on our way to make our debt service payment. We don't see any issues, meeting that goal. We have plenty of cash on hand to handle.
Good.
To handle it, so we're on track.
And what's the payment that we have to
I
do?
believe it's a 2.8 million,
Okay.
it's due in July.
Okay.
And that'll be exciting, we'll be almost debt free. Our short-term investment account, we made our $500,000 meter licensing fee payment in December. And we just made the reflection at Bill's request of the T-bill investment to show what's in that T-bill and what is not. Any questions about our short-term? Moving on to our long-term investment, we made our annual deposit into this account in February, $400,000. We deposited $200,000 from our operating account and $200,000 from our short-term. Just a reminder to the board set a goal of 15 to 30% of budget to be invested into our long-term account.
And we make it once a year.
Yeah. See what we have at the end of the year.
Yep.
Plug it up. And our EV charging investment account is moving up slowly but surely. We are starting to see some issues with our EV chargers, needing some repairs, so it's exciting to be able to use these funds to repair those or replace if needed. That's all I have for our financial review.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The next item on the agenda, business.
Let's see our quarter review of budget results. As the board, so it's on 4A in your packet.
Oh, man.
Sorry, not that. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay, so compared to 2024, for meter revenues, for the first quarter, like I said, we had a banger of a first quarter. For 2025, it's just fantastic for meter revenue. And our expenses were much lower this year, for meters as well. A lot less repairs, a lot less equipment needs for this quarter. So it's just been.
Is that because we upgraded?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with the weather too. Like we had usually when it gets really cold, really snowy, we do have failures. And they can be costly, or if we had any kind of accidents in the field that,
Oh, I see that plays into this as well. Okay.
right,
Yeah.
right.
So
So we were well below that. It doesn't mean that the next.
Pretty dry winter.
Yeah, yeah. And enforcement, reimbursable expenses, I'm sorry, ticket revenue, was also higher. And expenses for enforcement were low as well. Although they're pretty much close to last year's reimbursable expense. But enforcement is having a great year this year. They also are having a record-breaking quarter that I informed the mayor of, and she was quite pleased with that.
My son moves away.
Any questions about the budget results?
No, that's great. Nice to see the enforcement numbers in shape too. Staff, working.
And that's
quality of
right.
life issues.
Yeah, we've had some pretty good staffing. Enforcement historically has been 5 bodies short. And I think we've only been a few, for the quarter. So a little bit of turnover here and there.
Do we have any reason to go into executive session?
So I think we have to distribute the, annual financial disclosure statements to the board.
Oh, sorry.
Should be on the last page of your packets. So, I believe we have to give them back to the city by May 15th, so. You
Have you
can,
received any yet?
sorry,
Have you received any yet?
no, we just gave
I
them.
turned my name.
Oh, you did, okay.
That's
Credit.
why.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, looking more.
In here somewhere?
They-
Should be the last
On the
page.
last page.
And it's due to the city by when?
May 15th, so if you get it back to us at the next board meeting, that would be wonderful.
Usually I.
Oh, there it is.
You probably need to.
Okay.
Sorry.
Back to executive session, I asked a question, and nobody wants to. We don't have any need to go into executive session.
I don't think so.
Mhm.
All right, good job. Do I have a motion to adjourn the April meeting of the Finance Committee? Development Authority.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?